Chosen one, what if I told you that the people who lied on your name are now facing the consequences? Their lies are falling apart, and now they're the ones suffering. For so long, they thought they could get away with it. They twisted your words, spread falsehoods behind your back, and tried to tarnish your reputation. At times, you may have felt powerless against their schemes, wondering if the truth would ever come out. But now the tide is turning. They couldn't have anticipated what's happening now. Karma is at work, and their own actions are coming back to haunt them. You see, there's a higher power that sees everything, and it never lets deceit go unanswered. Right now, their lies are unraveling, and they're being exposed for who they really are. This is not just about your name being cleared. It's about the truth finally coming to light. In this video, we're going to uncover why they lied, how their falsehoods are falling apart, and what it means for you moving forward. If you resonate with this message, comment 77 and show your support by liking this video, subscribing, and clicking the super thanks button. Stay until the end, because what's coming next will prove once and for all that truth is stronger than any lie. Why they lied about you. When you think back to the times you were falsely accused or unfairly criticized, it probably felt like a punch to the gut. You didn't understand why they were targeting you, especially since you knew deep down that you hadn't done anything to deserve it. It's a lonely, painful place to be. You start to question yourself, wondering if maybe you could have handled things differently or if there's some truth to what they're saying. But the truth is, chosen one, their lies weren't about what you did. They were about what you represented. You carried a light that they couldn't ignore, a sense of purpose and authenticity that made them feel small. And instead of looking inward, instead of facing their own insecurities, they chose the easier path, to tear you down. Their jealousy was the spark that ignited their lies. You've probably noticed how the people who spread the most rumors about you are the ones who were closest to you at one point. They had a front row seat to your growth, your success, and your ability to inspire others. And that made them uncomfortable. They saw how others were drawn to your energy, how you stood out without even trying, and it stirred something in them, something dark. Instead of celebrating your journey, they let jealousy take root. They twisted your words, exaggerated your actions, and painted a picture of you that was far from the truth. They thought that by spreading these falsehoods, they could diminish your shine. But in reality, all they did was reveal their own insecurities. In the story of Joseph, his brothers didn't hate him because he wronged them. They hated him because of the favor he carried, the dreams he had, and the destiny he was walking toward. Genesis 37 verse 4 says, "When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him." That envy drove them to sell Joseph into slavery, thinking they could erase him from their lives and from his calling. But what they didn't realize was that their actions were only setting the stage for God's plan to unfold. The pit was just the beginning of Joseph's journey, not the end. Similarly, the lies told about you were never strong enough to alter your path. They were part of a larger narrative, one that would ultimately lead you to a higher place. And now, as time passes, you can see the shift happening. The falsehoods they spread are starting to unravel. People who once believed their stories are beginning to see the cracks. Those who distance themselves from you are questioning what they heard and noticing the inconsistencies. The narrative they tried so hard to control is slipping through their fingers, and the truth is shining through. It's like watching the fog lift after a storm. What was hidden is now becoming clear. You've remained steadfast, continuing to walk in your purpose, and now their lies are no match for the authenticity you carry. But this transformation didn't happen on its own. Divine timing has been at work. Just as Joseph was brought into Pharaoh's court at the exact right moment, your vindication is unfolding precisely when it's supposed to. Every tear you cried, every moment you felt misunderstood, was not in vain. God saw it all and was working behind the scenes to align everything perfectly. Their lies were never more powerful than the truth you carried. And now, that truth is emerging stronger than ever. It's becoming evident that their deception was never about you. It was about their own fear of your light. Now that you understand their motives and see how their attempts to tarnish your name have backfired, it's time to shift your focus. Instead of dwelling on the harm they tried to cause, turn your attention to the blessings and growth that have come from it. This isn't just about surviving their falsehoods. It's about thriving in spite of them, the very qualities that made them envious. Your strength, your purpose, your authenticity are the same qualities that will continue to guide you toward your destiny. Let their downfall be a reminder that lies can never hold back the truth. Comment jealousy if you've ever felt someone's envy fueling their lies. Stay with me as we look at how their falsehoods are now crumbling, how their lies are falling apart. There comes a point when lies can no longer hold their shape. At first, the false stories might have seemed convincing. You might have even noticed the initial impact as people pulled away from you, their trust in you shaken. It's hard not to feel hurt when you see relationships strained, all because someone decided to twist the narrative. But lies are fragile. They depend on constant effort to maintain. Over time, the weight of their own fabrication begins to pull them down. Slowly but surely, the cracks emerge. The people who once accepted their version of events start to see inconsistencies. What once sounded believable now raises questions. As the cracks widen, the truth begins to shine through. It may not happen overnight, but it is inevitable. The lies they told relied on fear, on silence, and on people not digging too deeply. Yet, as time goes on, people do dig. They ask questions, they compare stories, and they start to see the motives behind deceit. The manipulative words that once seemed so powerful begin to lose their grip. People notice the holes in the story, the patterns of behavior that don't match up. Those who distance themselves from you now start to reconsider, their doubts shifting toward the liar instead. What was once a web of deception now looks like a series of frayed threads barely holding together. Scripture reminds us of the fleeting nature of lies. Proverbs 12 verse 19 says, "Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment." This verse holds a profound truth that resonates in this situation. While their lies may have caused temporary damage, they were never built to last. Truth is unshakable, and over time it prevails. Lies require constant effort and maintenance, while the truth stands firm. When people begin to question the narrative, they see that the foundation was never solid. The liar's own words become their undoing. What was once a clever scheme now collapses under the weight of its own falsehood. As their web of deceit unravels, something remarkable happens. The people who doubted you start to return. They may not say it outright, but you can see it in their actions. Their attitudes shift, their interactions change. They realize they were misled, and though they may feel embarrassed or regretful, their renewed trust in you speaks volumes. The lies that once seemed so powerful now look pathetic in hindsight. And for you, there's a quiet vindication in seeing the truth come to light. It doesn't erase the hurt, but it reaffirms your integrity and your resilience. At the same time, those who spread the lies begin to lose their footing. They may try to spin new narratives to patch up the holes, but it's too late. The inconsistencies are too obvious. The trust they relied on is gone. The people who once listened to them now see them for who they really are. Their credibility crumbles, and with it, the power they held over you. They thought their lies would diminish you, but in the end, they only diminished themselves. This isn't just karma. It's a natural consequence of living in truth versus living in deceit. As the dust settles, you begin to notice the energy shift. Those who once judged you start to look at you with new eyes. Opportunities that seemed lost now return. The respect you thought you'd never regain begins to flow back. And through it all, you've grown stronger, wiser, and more confident in who you are. The lies that once caused so much turmoil have now faded, leaving behind a clearer, more authentic path for you to walk. It's not just about being vindicated. It's about understanding that the truth always finds a way to emerge. What once seemed like a hopeless situation has now transformed into a powerful reminder of your resilience. You didn't need to fight back with lies of your own. You didn't need to play their game. All you had to do was stand firm in your truth, and time did the rest. The power of integrity cannot be overstated. By remaining true to yourself, you allowed the truth to work on your behalf, dismantling their falsehoods one by one. Now, you walk forward with your head high, knowing that the truth not only protected you, but also freed you. Comment truth if you've seen how lies eventually reveal themselves. Keep watching, because next we'll explore the consequences they're now facing. The consequences they are now facing. When you think about what they did, it might still sting. The lies they spread, the relationships they strained, the trust they tried to tear down. It wasn't fair and it wasn't right. But here's the thing. Deceit always comes with consequences. At first, they may have felt secure in their lies, even empowered by the harm they thought they were causing. They watched, waiting for you to stumble, expecting you to lose the connections, respect, and opportunities you had earned. But now, as the days pass, it's their lives that are starting to unravel. The seeds they planted in malice are growing into the very destruction they once hoped you would face. These consequences aren't just about bad luck. They're about the natural order of things, the way deceit inevitably turns inward. The people who once trusted them are pulling away, realizing that the foundation of those relationships was built on manipulation. They're losing the respect they once commanded because the truth is seeping through the cracks. Their reputation, once bolstered by lies, is now tainted. The same words they used to harm you are now turning against them. It's as if every falsehood they uttered is coming back to them, amplified, and there's no escaping it. Their lives are crumbling under the weight of their own deceit. This isn't just karma at work. It's divine justice. Galatians 6 verse 7 says, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." They sowed division, distrust, and falsehoods, and now they're reaping the fruits of that harvest. This isn't about revenge or satisfaction at their downfall. It's about understanding that the universe is governed by principles of truth and integrity. They thought they could escape these principles, that their lives would protect them or elevate them. But the truth has proven otherwise. The suffering they're experiencing isn't random. It's a direct consequence of their actions, a reminder that deceit has a price that must be paid. The collapse of their facade was only a matter of time. At first, it might have seemed like their lies worked. People believed them, and you felt the weight of that betrayal. But lies are never stable. They need constant effort to maintain, and the longer they're upheld, the weaker they become. Over time, those who once believed them began to notice the inconsistencies, the contradictions. Questions arose, doubts crept in, and the foundation of their deception began to crumble. The very tools they used to undermine you have now become the sources of their own undoing. Their manipulation no longer holds sway, and the relationships they relied on are slipping away. As their world falls apart, you might feel tempted to watch with satisfaction. After all, they cause you pain. They tarnish your name, spread rumors, and try to bring you down. But the lesson here isn't about their suffering. It's about the truth prevailing. Their consequences are a reminder to everyone watching that lies never last. The strength of the truth isn't in loud accusations or elaborate schemes. It's in its unchanging nature. Truth doesn't need constant reinforcement. It simply exists. And over time, it exposes what's false. The people who once turned against you now see who was in the right all along. The tables have turned, not because of revenge, but because truth cannot be denied forever. In the midst of their struggles, you may notice that they become quieter. The confidence they once had, fueled by their lies, is now gone. They're no longer so sure of themselves because the foundation they built their stories on has collapsed. Their downfall is a powerful reminder to them, and to everyone, that actions have consequences. No amount of manipulation can change that. They're now facing the very fate they tried to impose on you, and there's no escaping the justice that was always on its way. This shift isn't just about justice for you. It's a lesson for everyone involved. It shows that no one is above the laws of truth and integrity. It reinforces the idea that honesty and authenticity are stronger than deceit, even when it doesn't feel that way in the moment. The consequences they're experiencing aren't just their own doing. They're a demonstration of the greater forces at work, aligning events so that truth and justice prevail. This experience is a reminder to all that what you put out into the world eventually returns to you. If you sow lies, you reap destruction. But if you walk in truth, you stand on solid ground. Comment karma if you believe in the power of divine justice. Stay tuned as we uncover why truth always wins in the end. Why truth always wins in the end. There is something unshakable about the truth. No matter how tangled the web of lies, no matter how carefully the deception is constructed, there comes a time when it all falls apart. You may have felt at first like their lies were winning. They seemed so convincing. They had people listening, turning away from you. believing a distorted version of events. And while you stood strong, you likely questioned how long the truth would take to reveal itself. It felt as if the weight of their falsehoods would never lift. But slowly, day by day, you began to see the shift. Lies can only hold for so long before they collapse under their own weight, and the truth, your truth, was always there, waiting to be seen. As their fabrications unraveled, it became clear that truth was not just a defense, it was your foundation. Unlike lies, which need constant maintenance and reinforcement, truth stands firm without effort. Truth doesn't rely on manipulation or carefully chosen words to keep it alive. It simply is. And because you walked in truth, you carried an unbreakable strength that they could never understand. They thought that appearances, clever stories, and deceitful alliances would keep their lies afloat. But deception is never a lasting strategy. What they underestimated was a light you carried, the light of authenticity, of integrity, of unwavering honesty. In the end, their schemes could not withstand the clarity of that light. In John 8, verse 32, Christ says, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." This is not just a verse. It's a reality you've lived. The truth has set you free from their manipulation. You no longer have to defend yourself against their falsehoods, because those lies no longer hold power. They once seemed to have the upper hand, twisting reality and convincing others to believe their narrative. But now, the truth has stripped away their facade. Their words, which once seemed strong, are now seen for what they always were, smoke and mirrors. And as their deception is exposed, the freedom you feel grows. It's not just about being vindicated. It's about stepping into a space where you can stand confidently in who you are without the weight of their lies holding you back. This transformation isn't just about what's happening to them. It's about what's happening within you. You've learned that truth doesn't need to fight. It doesn't need to argue or convince. It simply endures. When you chose to stand firm in your truth, you allowed time to work on your behalf. The strength it takes to stay true to yourself, even when others doubt you, is immense. But now you see the payoff. Their lies may have clouded the air for a while, but they never touch the essence of who you are. They never reach the core of your character. The truth always prevails because it doesn't rely on external validation. It just is. And now, as the dust settles, you stand taller, clearer, and stronger because of it. For those who lied, their fall was inevitable. Lies crumble because they're built on insecurity and fear. They're temporary fixes to deeper problems. Truth, however, is eternal. It's solid, grounded, and unyielding. As the days pass, you see their attempts to maintain the illusion falter. People begin to recognize the inconsistencies, the contradictions. What once seemed plausible now appears ridiculous. And as their credibility fades, your light shines brighter. The lies they told no longer define the narrative. Your authenticity does. You don't need to do anything more than continue walking in your truth. That simple act of standing firm in who you are has done what their manipulation never could. It's created something lasting. This experience has changed you. It's deepened your understanding of what it means to stand in your power, to trust in the enduring strength of truth. You've seen firsthand how time and patience work in your favor. While they tried to tear you down quickly, you chose a steady path. You didn't stoop to their level. You didn't engage in the same tactics. Instead, you let the truth do its work. And now, as their lies fade into background, you're left with a sense of freedom and peace. This isn't just a personal victory. It's a universal reminder that no matter how convincing lies may seem in the moment, they can never outlast the truth. As you move forward, remember that this freedom you feel isn't just about what you've left behind. It's about what you're stepping into. The truth that's carried you through this experience will continue to guide you. It will light your path, inspire others, and help you build relationships rooted in authenticity. Those who recognize your integrity will stand by you, and those who once believed the lies will see the real you for the first time. This is a new chapter, one defined by honesty, clarity, and an unwavering commitment to your values. You've proven that the truth is your greatest strength, and that strength will carry you into a brighter, freer future. Comment freedom if you're ready to walk in the truth. Keep watching to learn how to move forward as they face the consequences of their actions, how to keep moving forward while they suffer. Now that the truth has come to light and their deceit is catching up with them, it can be tempting to look back, to dwell on the hurt they caused, or to replay the moments when their lies seem to take root. But this is not your season to focus on their downfall. It's your season to step into fullness of who you are, unshaken by their actions. They may be suffering now, but that is not your concern. Your energy, your attention, should be directed toward what lies ahead. By choosing to rise above, you demonstrate that their attempts to harm you never truly touch your core. You are moving forward, not because of what they're facing, but because you've learned what it means to stand in your truth. It's easy to feel vindicated when those who hurt you face consequences, but don't let that become your focus. Your growth, your purpose, and your mission are far more important than their struggles. As they deal with the fallout of their own lies, use that as a reminder, not of their suffering, but of your strength. You've made it through the worst they could throw at you, and now you have an opportunity to channel that strength into something greater. Remember that revenge or celebration of their hardship does nothing to uplift you. True victory is found in continuing to walk in integrity, letting your light shine brighter and brighter despite what you've endured. Think of this as a refining moment. They tried to tarnish your reputation, but all they did was polish your character. You are who you are because you chose to rise above. This is not the time to lower yourself by retaliating or holding on to resentment. It's the time to keep growing, to focus on your own journey. In Romans 12, verse 19, we're reminded, "Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath." Their suffering is not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to live your life with purpose, love, and integrity. Let their downfall be a lesson in the power of truth, but don't let it distract you from the steps you need to take now. By moving forward, you create a ripple effect. The people around you, those who saw you endure their lies and remain steadfast, will notice your strength. They'll see that you didn't let their actions define you, and that kind of resilience inspires others. It shows that it's possible to walk through fire and come out not only unharmed, but stronger. Every step you take forward sends a message that you're not held back by their actions, that you're focused on your future, and that you trust in a greater plan for your life. This isn't just about getting past what they did. It's about embracing the freedom and clarity that comes from living authentically. This is also an opportunity to deepen your faith. Instead of looking at them, look up, seek guidance and strength from a higher source. Trust that the same truth that revealed their lives will continue to guide you. As they face the natural consequences of their actions, you can rest in the assurance that you're walking a different path, a path that leads to growth, to peace, and to a future untouched by their negativity. This is the time to pour your energy into your calling, to work on your personal goals, and to focus on relationships and opportunities that matter most. The more you do this, the less space their actions will take up in your mind. In moving forward, you reclaim your power. They no longer dictate how you feel or what you do. The lies they spread no longer control the narrative, because you're no longer focused on them. You're focused on yourself, your purpose, and the truth that always wins in the end. Each day that you choose not to look back at their suffering is another day that you grow stronger. It's another day that you live in alignment with your values and continue to walk toward your goals. You don't have to celebrate their downfall or wish them harm. Simply moving forward is enough. It's a quiet, confident act of reclaiming your own life. This journey is about you, not them. They had their moment of power when they spread lies, but that moment has passed. Now your moment begins. You've already won because you stayed true to yourself. You've already won because their lies couldn't break you. And as you walk forward, you'll continue to win, not by gloating, not by seeking vengeance, but by living a life of integrity and purpose. Let that be your focus. Let that be your victory. You're not just moving on. You're rising higher, becoming stronger, and proving to yourself and everyone watching that truth and integrity always lead the way. You see, holding on to bitterness or resentment only keeps you tied to the past. By releasing those feelings, you free yourself to fully embrace what's ahead. The energy you once spent dwelling on their actions can now be redirected toward building the life you deserve. It's a liberating shift, a powerful reminder that you're not defined by what they did, but by how you choose to rise above it. When you focus on your own growth, you start to notice the progress you're making. you begin to see new doors opening and fresh opportunities appearing. The weight of their negativity lifts, replaced by the lightness of hope and possibility. Your victories, no matter how small, accumulate into a strong foundation. These wins aren't about proving them wrong. They're about proving to yourself that you are capable, resilient, and worthy of all the good that's coming your way. Choosing to look forward doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means refusing to let it control you. You can remember the lessons learned without carrying the pain with you. Every step you take forward is a statement of self-respect. It's a declaration that you are worth more than the drama and chaos they try to pull you into. In that forward movement, you find your strength. As you grow, you also become a beacon for others who are facing similar struggles. Your story, your perseverance, becomes a source of encouragement. People look to you and see what's possible. Your courage to keep moving forward despite the hurt inspires them to do the same. In this way, your healing not only transforms your life, but also impacts those who are watching your journey. Living with integrity, with clear focus on your purpose, creates a ripple effect. It's not just about what you achieve, it's about who you become in the process. Each step you take, each decision to move forward, shapes you into someone more confident, more compassionate, more whole. And as you continue down this path, you'll find that your personal growth outshines any temporary satisfaction that revenge or resentment could bring. This is the new chapter of your story, one where you're the author. You're writing a life filled with meaning and intention, and each day brings a new opportunity to turn the page. The past no longer has the power to define you. You are defining yourself. And as you continue this journey, the most important thing you'll find is not just that you've moved on, but that you've risen above, higher than you ever thought possible. With each day that passes, you'll notice a shift. What once felt heavy and inescapable now seems distant and less important. The further you walk this path, the more you realize that your energy is better spent on things that bring joy, fulfillment, and peace. It becomes clear that holding on to their negativity only slowed you down. And now that you've let it go, you're free to reach heights you never imagined. There's also something deeply empowering about choosing not to engage. In the face of what could have dragged you back into a cycle of frustration, you chose peace. You chose yourself. That act of self-prioritization sends a powerful message, not just to others, but to yourself. It says, I am worth more. I am moving forward. It's a simple decision, but its impact ripples through every part of your life. As you focus on your personal goals and relationships, the rewards start to unfold naturally. You'll find yourself more present, more energized, and more motivated. The people who matter most will feel that shift, too, and they'll be drawn to the positivity you're cultivating. This isn't about seeking validation or proving anything to anyone. It's about living a life that feels authentic, full, and aligned with your true purpose. In time, you'll look back and see how far you've come, not just in physical achievements, but in emotional strength and clarity. The things that once caused you pain will be distant memories, and the life you're building will speak volumes. It's not about erasing the past, but about embracing the future with open arms, knowing that you've grown stronger, wiser, and more at peace. In this newfound clarity, you'll begin to appreciate just how much inner strength you've developed. The challenges you faced, while painful at the time, have carved out a deeper well of resilience within you. What once felt like insurmountable trials now serve as proof of your ability to overcome. Each day you move forward, you're reminded that you've endured and grown, and that growth is now your greatest armor. As you walk this path, you'll also notice the ways your outlook on life changes. Situations that might have upset you in the past now seem trivial, and your capacity for patience and understanding expands. You become less reactive and more intentional in how you spend your time and energy. This steady shift in perspective not only brings you peace, but also opens new doors. Relationships flourish, opportunities appear, and you find yourself drawn to what truly aligns with your values. The further you travel, the more you see that moving on isn't just about leaving something behind. It's about stepping into something new. You start to discover parts of yourself that have been overshadowed by the pain. Your creativity, your drive, and your joy. With each step forward, you reclaim pieces of yourself that once felt lost, and you realize that the journey itself is making you whole again. Finally, you'll begin to understand the profound beauty In choosing your own story, no matter what has happened, you have the power to shape the next chapter. The choices you make, the actions you take, all contribute to a life that is distinctly your own. This is your moment to rise, not out of revenge or bitterness, but out of a deep love and respect for who you are and who you are becoming.